Light mechs that break the mold, that break the pattern for light mechs. That's what we're going to explore in this mech review, but also building on a little bit of Tactica. We're exploring the Valkyrie. Now, I'm one of those mech commanders that in real-time games tracks the mechs that I play regularly and makes a couple of notes about their performance. If we're talking about real-time game hours, the Valkyrie is a light mech second only to the Locust that I regularly pilot. And it's one of my favorite mechs because it looks to do something that a light mech can't necessarily do while preserving, can't have everything, but while preserving the traditional role of a light mech. Now, I've pushed up to the Battletech playlist here on the channel, exploring the idea of light mechs, what they're used for, how to play them. We're just going to framework a little bit and build on that. Certainly, if you want to check that out, that's there for more Tactica. But essentially, as a light mech, I'm going to run and gun. I don't have a ton of armor. I'm going to always look to be moving. I might take some shots with that primary weapon, which is usually a medium laser. But I definitely don't want to engage one-to-one. Or if I do have to, for some reason, it's with the support of my lance and I'm trying to get side or rear armor or utilize initiative. But essentially, it's very, very focused. Now, the Valkyrie is interesting because we preserve that. I can run and gun. I'm good for recon. I'm good for stealth type missions. I'm good for working up the flank. I've got the jump and the speed. Certainly not the fastest mech, but fast enough. Still within that bracket for a light mech. We have that option. But now what we see, when I say break the mold, you mount something that is usually not seen until you hit the medium mech class. An example of that would be like the Panther. You put a PPC on it, right? We're looking at the Valkyrie. You've got a long-range missile 10-pack with a decent amount of ammo. Mostly we see either short-range missile packs, or if we're looking at LRMs, you've got LRM 5s. To jump to a 10 with mobility, with reloads, means now you've got an interesting sniper mech. Now you've got an interesting machine that just for a little bit of effect at really low battle value games could fire some indirect. If I'm doing a lance versus lance game, having that little bit of indirect fire and not having to build something specific around it becomes very interesting. I have a way to chase away, legitimately threaten light mechs. They don't want to get hit with one or two shots, especially if it's a good spread with long-range missiles. I have that ability to push out. If I'm part of a lance, as I'm advancing with that lance, I can add that LRM 10 firepower. And then once our lances have kind of made contact or hit, then I can fade back with the Valkyrie, play conservative, go for the flank, and just keep on pumping out LRM 10 shots. That's the primary delivery system. Now, I would argue and say I want to stay at range, optimal range for that LRM 10. I don't really want to necessarily use the medium laser, but if I can take that shot, I will. But then if something rushes me or moves in and it's a light versus light, I've still got that medium laser to fire. It's a very, very interesting mech that I believe both preserves the traditional role of that light mech, but it offers something unique, something that's an interesting twist to utilize in a lot of different ways.